Welcome to today's lecture. And our topic is language and register. Since last two lectures, we have been discussing the concept like social linguistics and register. We saw that social linguistics studies the relationship between society and language, and we discussed how language and society they influence each other. And as a speaker, we use language according to the social norms, social situations. And social linguistics studies the use of language in different contexts, in different situations. So, we discussed that language changes whenever there is a change in the situation, whenever there is a change in the speaker listener relationship. And this change is the focus of social linguistics. And this change, as we know, is not 100%, but to some extent. So this change, this variation gives birth to many social linguistic concepts, and register is one of the social linguistic parts of a language. We discussed that we do not use the same language all the time. We do not use the same language in all the situations. So we change our language as per the demand of the situation, as per the demand of the relationship. So language is a social phenomenon, social entity, and language defines, tries to define the relationship also. So we shift from one type of language to another type, keeping in mind the situation and the relationship, like parents, lovers, friends, teachers, at marriage ceremony, examination, or in some interview, we change, or let's say we adopt actually a different type of language. So we vary our language, we change our language, we shift our language from one situation to the another situation, right? So this change, this vary is very important in social linguistics. And in linguistics, register is defined as the way a speaker uses language differently in different circumstances. So, register is defined by the circumstances, the situation. So, if the situation is changed, if the context is changed, language is changed. And if the language is changed, automatically it gives birth to register. So we change our language. Exactly what we do. We discuss that this change means we have a changing pattern regarding vocabulary, regarding greetings, regarding sentence pattern, and regarding tone also. So language change, right? We also adopt a different type of body language as per the demand of the situation. So if we are in the company of a lover or beloved, our body language is totally changed. But in the case of a temple, mosque, or church, our body language is completely changed. Same is the case with language also. Our tone is changed. Our words are changed. Our what you say, vocabulary is also changed. Isn't it? So the variation in the language gives birth to one part, that is register. So, in such regard, as far as social linguistics is concerned, social occasion, context, purpose, and audience, these factors are very important. So, let's move ahead. So, the topic register. Here, register means the contextual use of a language. So the language is changed as per the context, or let's say as per the topic, or let's say as per the situation. And in a situation, we use a particular type of language, that is register. In a particular context, we use a particular type of a language, that is called register. For example, if you visit a library, if you visit a library, then you will use a particular type of vocabulary, a particular type of sentence pattern, a particular type of tone also, right? You would select the words like books, magazines, newspapers, right? Issuing of the book, counter, issuing of the book, submission of the book, like that. If you visit a bank, there is a change in language. You would use the words like checkbook, passport, money, money transfer, cashless transaction, issuing counter, right? Cashier, manager, draft, DD, check, account payee, bearer check, isn't it? So you would use words and sentences related to banking sector in a bank. You would use the language related to library when you are in library. Right? If you go to a coffee shop, then you would have a certain vocabulary appropriate to the coffee shop. And that is registered. Right? So situational use of language is registered. And here we use appropriate, or let's say expected words, expected sentences in your communication. If you are in a coffee shop and if you are demanding a checkbook, then it is illogical. It is illogical. Or if you go to a library and demand a deed, right? That is illogical. So register means contextual use of a language, right? So appropriate type of language is used as per the demand of the situation, that means register. So we change our language. That means we change register, right? So if you are going to reserve a berth at a reservation counter at a railway station, you would change your register. You would start your conversation with the words like express, berth, seat number, lower berth, upper berth, middle berth, reservation, single citizen quota, right? Which train, is it passenger, time, schedule, arrival, departure, right? Is it RAC? Is it confirmed reservation or not? Like that. So this is called the register of the train, register at a coffee shop, register of bank, right? So if you are sitting in the TYBA classroom and if I am delivering a lecture on Nagamandala, then my language is limited to Nagamandala only, limited to literature only. So I would use the register of literature. But if you go to visit geography classroom, then what would happen? Register would change. So the teacher would use the language related to geography. If you go to the mathematics class, the teacher would use the language related to mathematics, isn't it? If you go to botany classroom, right, and the language in the literature classroom is the same, that is English language, but register would be changed. What kind of register? Botany register of English is totally different. It is related to plants only, trees only, isn't it? But the same English language is changed in English literature classroom. So in English literature classroom, we would have novels, drama, and all those things, right? Like that. If you go for a shopping, suppose you want to buy some jeans, you visit that shop, then you would use the appropriate register related of shopping of jeans, right? So you will use the pattern of jeans, monkey wash, right? 3/4, full length, then the shade, then the stitching, then the stretchability of that jeans, isn't it? Right? You would change the language. So this change, this shifting of language is determined at register. Right? So situational use of a language means a. So let's move ahead regarding the types of language registers. So language register describes the various styles of language available for writing or speaking. So styles means register. So language is classified into 5 categories called language registers. For example, frozen, formal, consultative, casual, and intimate. So we determine which register to use based on who is in our audience, what is our topic, and the purpose of our communication. So these three are very important factors which decides the kind of language we are having. So before going to start our speaking, what we decide, what we take into consideration, who is the listener, who is the audience. Okay. Second thing, the topic. Third is the reason or the purpose of our communication. As I told you that if you visit a bank, before you communicate, you would decide, you would take into thinking some topics like who is the audience? The cashier would be the audience, and my topic is issuing the check. Okay, and then I would start my communication. Okay, but if I communicate with the cashier just like a librarian, then what would happen? There would be illogical communication, right? So it is important to use the appropriate language register so we do not, what you say, discomfort others. If I use the register of a library at the bank, what would happen? It would create a great problem, isn't it? If I use the register that I use with my wife with my neighbor, then what would happen? It would create a great problem, isn't it? Right?
Yes.
So who is the is very important. What is our topic is very important, and the purpose of the communication also, right? The students among themselves have a different type of register, and if the students use the same register with the close friends, with the teachers, then what would happen? Problem would be there, isn't it? Right? So before going to have a conversation, these three things are very important. That is, who is our listener, what topic is there, and the purpose of our communication.
Purpose of communication.
If you follow this rule, then there would be no problem in communication, or let's say the miscommunication, right? So, appropriate type of language as per the demand of the situation means register. And as per the situation, we have five categories of language. That is frozen, then formal, then consultative, then casual, and then intimate. So we would go through each and every type of language register in our next slide. Right? So before that, let's have a universal rule, and that is a person can go from one register to the next register without any conflict. Do you find it difficult to change the register? Yes, please. Is it difficult for us to change the register?
No.
After this lecture, you would have a communication with your parents, isn't it?
Yes.
Will you use the same register with them as you are having with me right now?
No.
No. Right? If you go out of your house, then there are neighbors, isn't it? Again, you will change
Yes.
the register, isn't it? Is it hard to change the register then?
No.
No. We can easily change the register, isn't it?
Yes.
So when I end this lecture, I would go to my colleagues, I would go to my family, I would go to my, yes, wife, I would go to my parents, I would go to my friends, I would go to the market, isn't it? So
Yes.
I would change from one type of register to another very easily, isn't it? Very easily, right? And I have to do that. If I don't change the register, what would happen? It would seriously affect my relationship, isn't it?
Yes.
I am having a register with my wife. I cannot use that register in the classroom. If I use that register, then a great problem would be there. Communication would be there, and it would seriously affect the relationship also. It can, or let's say it would damage my personality, isn't it? So this is the universal rule.
Yes.
So registers are used in all forms of communication, including written and spoken. Formal type of letter writing, informal type of letter writing. If you write to your teacher, a different type of language you would use, and if you write to your parents, different language you would use. Chatting with your teacher on WhatsApp and chatting with your close friend on WhatsApp, is it the same?
No.
Obviously not, isn't it? So particular words are used, particular type of sentence patterns which you would use, isn't it? Like that. So depending on grammar, syntax, and tone, the register may extremely rigid or very intimate. Extremely rigid, right? If there is a puja in our house, okay, this shanti or that shanti, what is that? The register is typically rigid. We follow the instruction of that pujari, isn't it? Very rigidly.
Yes.
His register is totally different. Swaha, like that, isn't it?
Yes.
Like, so this is a register. So each and every profession uses a certain type of register. If you visit a police station, a different type of register would be there, right? Jail, police inspector, custody, right? Third degree, second degree, police van, panchanama, witness, all these things. If you visit the court, again, advocate, judge, clerks, judgment, punishment, right? Criminal, under section, IPL, IPS, like that. So that kind of register is there in the court system, right? So situation is changed, language is changed. Profession is changed, language is changed. Relationship is changed, language also changes.
Is
That's a,
changes.
and this change means register, register, and register. And this
Register.
changing of this register is nothing but a common sense. It is a common sense. That's why it is a very important part of social linguistics. So types of linguistic register. Some linguists say that there are just two types of register, as we know, that is formal and informal. So formal communication is there and informal communication is there, roughly. So roughly, there are two types of registers. One is formal and second is informal. But if you go into the deeper level of social linguistics, it doesn't uh, what say convinces us. It does not convince us that uh, most who study language say there are five distinct registers. Right. So if you go deeper into the meaning or if you go deeper into the topic, right? So you will find the five types of registers. Let's go one by one. And we use these five registers in our daily practice, in our daily communication, right? So in that series, let's go towards the first one, that is frozen. And
Frozen.
frozen register. This register remains unchanged, right? Unchanged, frozen, just like a fridge. We are frozen. Okay? When we read a Bible, when we read what you say, Constitution, when we read a Bhagavad Gita, when we read Romeo and Juliet, we use frozen type of register. Right? India is my country. All Indians are my brothers and sisters. Frozen style. It is our daily practice, right? Like that. So frozen type of communication is there. For example, if we have a pledge, आपण शपथ घेतो. स्वच्छता, स्वच्छतेची शपथ. Frozen style of communication. So frozen register. भारत माझा देश आहे, सर्व भारतीय माझे बांधव आहेत, हे आपलं रोजचं काम आहे, म्हणून फ्रोझन रजिस्टर. फ्रीज, आपल्या तोंडावर काहीही भावना नसतात, आपण त्या मनापासून त्या गोष्टी बोलत नाही, फ्रोझन रजिस्टर. येतं लक्षात? जन गण मन, रोज आहे, रोज आहे, फ्रोझन रजिस्टर. आपण बस स्टॉपवर गेलो, अनाउन्समेंट ऐकतो आपण, बस नंबर XYZ, ट्रेन नंबर दिस ट्रेन, standard ऐकतो, रेल्वे स्टेशन ऐकतो, ते काय आहे? फ्रोझन रजिस्टर. We don't have any kind of emotions while speaking or while listening that kind of language. It is called frozen. We are freeze, right? Like that. आपण भाजीपाला घेताना सुद्धा फ्रोझन रजिस्टर. कितीचा भाव दिला? 2 किलो द्या, संपलं का? जास्त काही बोलतो का आपण?
नाही.
फ्रोझन रजिस्टर, राईट? आपण स्टेशनवर गेलो, रिझर्वेशन काढण्यासाठी माहिती घेतली, मला याचं रिझर्वेशन पाहिजे, संपलं का? जास्त काय बोलतो का आपण? नाही. एवढ्याला तेवढंच बोलणार आपण. Like that. It is called frozen type of register, and we use this register. Can you give us an example? एखादं उदाहरण देता येईल? Yes,
फॉर
please.
एक्झाम्पल कॉलेज लायब्ररी तिथे
Yes.
पण तेवढंच बोलणं असतं. एखादं
Right.
बुक इश्यू केलं तेवढ्या पुरतं बोललं काम संपलं.
Supply. Frozen. Right. Like so
येस
formal. Next, please.
सर
We
आवाज
use
ब्रेक होतोय.
formal way of speaking as far as just a minute.
आवाज नहीं
Is
आ
it
रही
okay
सर.
now?
आवाज ब्रेक हो रही.
Am I audible now?
हा येस सर.
Yes.
A little bit problem is there regarding the net. So we use formal way of communication in the respect of formal relationship. आवाज येतो माझा?
हो
Hello.
सर.
हो
हो
येतोय
हो
सर
येतोय
येतोय.
सर.
In the matter of respectful relationship, we use a formal type of language. We are engaging a lecture, isn't it? And I am using what kind of a register? Formal type of register, isn't it? Formal. Formal type of register is used in professional, academic, or legal settings. Professional. If you visit an advocate, formal. If you visit a doctor, formal, right?
फॉर्म.
If you visit the
येस.
principal's cabin, formal way of communication, isn't it? We use
येस.
formal or respected words over here. Hello, sir. Good morning. Good day. Like that. How are you, sir? Like that. Would you use such kind of words with your father and mother? Hello, good morning,
नो
Papa.
नॉट एट ऑल.
How are you, Papa? Good day, Papa. Like that? No, right? So, full words are used, no short words are there. Will you say, hello, principal, what's up? No,
नो.
No.
right? But with your close friends, you would use WhatsApp, right? But if you
येस.
say, Namaste, my good friend, then what would happen?
No.
इट्स इलॉजिकल.
That friend would slap you. Hey, are you okay? Like that.
नहीं.
So formal, right? तुम्ही कपडे शिवायला जाता चिमट्याकडे, formal. Okay? Respected. Teacher, formal. Like that. Doctor, formal. Right?
फॉर्मल.
Business present, business presentation. Oral,
फॉर्मल.
oral test, formal. Right?
फॉर्मल.
I am using formal
येस.
language. You, isn't it? Like that. So it's a formal way of communication. So interviews, academic language, I am using academic language with you. Right? Public speaking, like that. So presentations, academic paper, essay in school, we use language that is formal. रजेसाठी अर्ज, मला रजा पाहिजे, फॉर्मल. राईट? परीक्षात तुम्ही उत्तर लिहितात की नाही? कुठली
हो.
भाषा असते तर फॉर्मल.
फॉर्मल.
बरोबर आहे. इंटरव्ह्यू देतात, फॉर्मल आहे.
फॉर्मल.
So consultative, let's go towards the next one. Consultation is there. Consultation. What happens in this type of register? Conversation is there when they are speaking with someone who has a specialized knowledge or who is offering advice. Salla maslak karne. Salla maslak. If you come to me, oh sir, after TYB, what should I do? Consultative language. Then I would say, don't go for MA, don't go for B.Ed, all these traditional courses. Do something different, right? I'm consultating with you, isn't it?
Yes.
Suppose that there is a marriage of Rupesh and he visits some event manager, some mandap wala is there, and Rupesh is having a communication with that person. Oh, Mr. Mandap wala, please suggest me some new and very attractive stage setting, and that stage shooting should impress my wife, right? Then the mandapwala would consult Rupesh regarding the new style of the stage setting, isn't it? That is consultative. If you visit a doctor, right, who is a specialist in some respect, and you would have a consultative approach with him, isn't it? If you ask,
Yes.
if you ask me, so suggest me some good dictionary of English, then I would have a consultative thing with you, right? Oh, read this book, read this dictionary, like that, isn't it? So it is consultative. Whenever we demand or expect some advice from some person, it means a consultative type of register we are using, right? कोणाचा आपण सल्ला घेतो ना, तो असतो consultative, right? If I ask Vaishnavi, which cold cream should I use? Because it is very chilled now, my skin is, right, not doing so well. Vaishnavi, suggest me some good face pack, or let's say some good skin cream. Then what Vaishnavi would ask me, oh sir, what kind of skin you have? Oily, dry, or like that? And she would suggest me some kind of a cream, isn't it? So consultative. Suppose that Vaishnavi wants to have, or let's cook something special in the kitchen. She would call to friend's mother. Oh, Auntie ji, please guide me how to cook this recipe. Then consultative. कळतंय का? सल्ला
Yes,
मसलत
sir.
घेतो, चर्चा आपण करतो, consultative. Isn't it? Right.
Yes.
2-4 दिवसांनी पार्टी करायची आहे आपल्याला, कन्सल्टेटिव्ह लगेच. सरांनी TYB ची लिंक पाठवलेली आहे टेस्टची, ती कशी करायची बरं, कन्सल्टेटिव्ह. वैष्णवीने कशी केलेली आहे सगळे तिला विचारतील, मग कन्सल्टेटिव्ह. वैष्णवी पहिल्याचं उत्तर काय आहे बरं, कन्सल्टेटिव्ह. वैष्णवी वैल चुकीचं उत्तर सांगेल, राईट, कन्सल्टेटिव्ह, राईट. So talking to a boss, supervisor, teacher, lawyer, doctor, counselor, that is consultative. Asking for assistance, help, that is also consultative, right? So casual, we have this one. Casual is just casual chatting we have, casual chatting with friends, close relatives, co-workers, colleagues, and family members. Casual, just सहज गप्पा मारतो आपण, that is called casual. Okay. It's probably the one you think of when you consider how you talk with other people, often in a group setting. बसले तुम्ही सगळेजण मित्र मित्र गप्पा मारताय, कॅज्युअल, काहीच विषय नाही, नुसतं चॅटिंग, पासिंग द टाइम ओनली, दॅट इज कॅज्युअल. वैष्णवीने काल एखादी फिल्म पाहिली, त्यावर डिस्कशन चालू आहे, कॅज्युअल. अरे रुपेशने नवीन फोन घेतलेला आहे, त्याच्यावर डिस्कशन, कॅज्युअल, राईट. रुपेशने तर काल शर्ट घातला, एकदम भंगार होता, बकवास दिसत होता रुपेश त्यामध्ये, कॅज्युअल, isn't it?
Casual.
Like that. So use of slangs, contractions, and vernacular grammar is common in such type of a communication. And casual कोणासोबत बोलतो आपण, just close people. यामध्ये शॉर्ट फॉर्म्स, स्लँग वर्ड्स, जसं मी आता भंगार शब्द वापरला, हा स्लँग वर्ड आहे, राईट. बकवास, हे काय आहे, स्लँग वर्ड्स. वी डोंट यूज सच काइंड ऑफ स्लँग वर्ड्स इन फॉर्मल वे ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन, right? So we are careless regarding the pronunciation, we are careless regarding the words, we are careless regarding sentence construction. अरे तो रुपेश काय बोलतोय मला ते वाट लावून टाकेल मी. आता वाट लावणं, it is not a good word, it's a slang, right? It's a slang, isn't it?
Slang.
So this kind of language is what we can say it's a careless type of language. You can say it's a common way of having a chat, a regular chat with your friends, colleagues, and family members also, right? बर्थडे पार्टी आहे सगळेजण एकत्र जमलेले आहेत चॅट करता आहेत अगं तुझं कसं चालू आहे माझं हे चालू माझं ते चालू आहे राईट लाईक दॅट मॅरेज सेरेमनी कोणाच्या लग्नाला गेले कॅज्युअल राईट लाईक दॅट सो टॉकिंग विथ फ्रेंड्स here peers means close ones slang is used right and the next is and the last one is intimate this register is for some special occasion and as the title indicates intimate it is a very close type of register and it can be called as a private register also it is used generally between the two lovers so intimate type of language is used between a husband and a wife between a boyfriend or a girlfriend between a lover and a beloved right so what kind of language it could have been याच्याबद्दल काय सांगायची जास्त आवश्यकता नाहीये intimate means intimate right like that असे प्रेमाचे शब्द यूज होतात राईट आता प्रेमाचे शब्द कसे यूज होतात इट इज ॲझम्पशन आपण तसं ते काय असू शकेल आपण त्याचा अंदाज करू शकतो राईट पती पत्नी काय बोलू शकतात प्रेमाने एकमेकांशी बॉयफ्रेंड गर्लफ्रेंड एकमेकांशी काय बोलू शकतात जस्ट वी कॅन इमॅजिन right so no need to explain this intimate way right so it is generally used between the lovers right so private communication is this also reserved for close family members or intimate people communication is between a pair that pair can be a husband or a wife or lover beloved like that parent child also you can consider over here so here we end the topic that is the register in a
Register.
language. I hope you have understood the topic in a better way.